残酷な天使のように少年よ神話になれ
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Adcast. Today we have a bonus episode, and AT stands for Ancillary Talk because bonusu, and we wanted to record something as a kind of like just a thing before we wrap up spring and get into summer, because that's not till like, I don't know, another couple weeks.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. We said like, oh, it's fine. We'll just not have an episode.
Mhm.
And then it got pushed so far back because of the spring and summer seasons, and also the fact that I'm traveling at inopportune moments,
yeah.
that we might as well just I couldn't leave well enough alone, basically. So here we are.
I don't know. So we blame, the timing of the animus, but really it's Soup's fault, and then he felt guilty.
I will argue that it's both of the faults of me and the schedule, because the spring season ends like over the course of this week, which is a problem because, it would be weird to talk about things if we didn't watch the last episode of literally every show we were watching. Like one or two, it's fine because whatever. But if it was all of them, that might present a problem or two.
It might affect our opinion, of the shows.
Although, to be fair, I think that if a show is kind of on that downward trajectory, a good last episode isn't necessarily going to save it. Most of the time, I'm just let down by last episodes.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the thing, right? Because, I have I think of Soul Eater, like that anime, and how the entire, just like the last episode upset me so much that when I recommend the anime, I have to be like, the anime is so good. Just don't watch the last episode.
just avoid that. Just don't even acknowledge the existence of that episode.
Just don't.
I never finished Soul Eater.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Don't ever finish it.
I also never finished the manga. I mean, the anime had its anime only ending too.
Exactly. That's what it was, and that's why I hated it. But the manga is fine, of course. But yeah,
I guess I'll read it then.
Yeah, you can read it.
I guess I'll read it then. At some point, I say, with everything ever on the planet, all the time. Yeah. So what have you been up to over the past couple weeks since we've been away?
Let's see. So last time we talked, I was at Animazement, or I just came back from Animazement, and then this time, let's see, I went to a-kon in Darasu in Fort Worth.
Wow,
actually,
so busy.
Yeah, I know, it's con season, man. I mean, AX is coming up, and I will not be going to that, but I do hope to go someday. Yeah, so you and I should go to that at some point, because that's closer to you than it is to me.
This is fair.
Yeah, so I went to a-kon. I got to see Bradio, which they are more famously known in the animu community for doing the Flyers intro for Death Parade. But
which was a jam.
It was a good jam, and then they did a really good parody video of the intro. It's so good. So yeah, they had a concert at a-kon, and it was their first live outside of Japan, so they were very excited. And they're basically like a Japanese funk band. So if you're looking to listen to something a little bit more unique sounding, a little bit, kind of older style mixed with the newer style type of funk, then that could be your jam. Plus, the lead singer has a very, very voluptuous afro, so can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, I know this band independently from Death Parade. Was that the anime? Was that the anime? Yeah,
that's the anime. I gotta make you watch that too.
I've also never seen that. I hear it's good though.
Yeah.
I actually know this band independently because it appeared on my Spotify, and I was like, this is pretty funky.
There you go. Good. Yeah,
Yeah.
so they played, and they played an original song that they're about to release, so that was exciting. And we went to go see their Q&A, and that was fun. There's a photo of me and our mutual friend Kuro somewhere out there on the internet. They took a giant group shot after the Q&A, so we're right there in the front middle.
Oh my god. Hold on. I didn't know that their name was an acronym.
Yes, it is.
Their name is an acronym for break the rule and do a image on? What does that even mean?
So I think they loosely explained it during the Q&A, but basically it means like, just break the rules and do your own thing. Like, don't let society's standards hold you down from what you want to do, which doesn't translate super well into their acronym, but I think they tried.
According to the Wikipedia page, it means that they will break the rules of everyday life, and while having a wonderful image all around, they will make a new good place, which I can get behind.
There you go, yeah.
Also, the members call their fans funky party people?
Yes, dude, I got a sweet, sweet towel that is red, white, and blue. I think they did that. I don't know if that's like actually their merch colors or if they did that purely because they came to visit America, but it has a giant funk you on it. And then on the side, in the blue part, it says funky party people.
That is so next level.
It is really good.
I love this band and everything they stand for.
Yes, I quite enjoy their attitude and their music. So we were lucky to see them. Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah. What else? We went to see our lovely friend in the artist alley, Lover of Scythe. He's the one who gave me a badge that let me even go to see the concert. So thank you, Scythe.
I saw that you worked that out at some point.
Yeah, we worked it out on Twitter. I was just like,
come with me.
Exactly. It was one of those things where it's like I was because they were having the concert on Friday night at 10 p.m. I get off of work at 6, and it takes me 4 hours to drive to DFW. So I would have basically arrived right at when the concert started, and of course that would be after registration closes, so I wouldn't even be able to pick up my badge. So I was just like, oh, you know what, whatever. I planned with Kuro to hang around at the con on Saturday, but so when I messaged Scythe, or I commented on his tweet, basically being like, oh, I might be able to come bug you on Saturday. He's just like, okay, well, I got a badge if you want it,
Come with like, me, do the thing.
What? Wait, you have a badge? Can I come get it for you on Friday so we can go see the concert?
Amazing.
Yeah, so that was awesome. He really came through for us, so thanks, buddy.
Nice.
Yeah, and other than that, got to see other friendsies. Got to hang out at Artist Alley and Dealer's End. That was cool. I brought home a Kaoru figure.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
I did. Though, granted, it's my first Ava-related figure, so...
How do you not... Whoa! How is your house not full of figures of Kaoru?
I know. What? I don't know. I have sinned. I have, like, a little strap for him. I have, like, a Shinji, like, lanyard thing. I don't have a figure. I don't have any figures of Ava until I got Kaoru, and he's dressed in, like... It's like the winter outfit Kaoru, so he's just got like the little like pea coat type thing on. And
my goodness.
Yeah, he was on discount, and so I was like, cool. I don't care about all the rarity crap. I just wanted a Kaoru.
I want my discount boy.
I want my discount boy. Now I gotta find if there's a Shinji matching version of him. I want him, and then they've got like I want the Asuka and Rei Santa versions of them. I know they have winter outfit versions of them, but I want the Santa outfit versions of them because they're really cute.
I mean,
and just have like a little winter gathering.
you gotta go for gold there.
Yeah,
when it comes to figurines, you don't compromise.
Yeah, exactly. And we basically made our friend buy a whole bunch of figurines too, so that was also good.
Nice.
And dude, we tried so hard to get into at least one of the autograph sessions with the myth, the legend, Matt Mercer. But
oh, Matt.
He's freaking the most popular man on earth.
I mean, it's true. It's true.
Because like I lately, maybe like a month or two ago, started like binging Critical Role like crazy, like starting from campaign 1. I almost said chapter.
Jesus.
So I'm still doing that, right? Like I'm was it episode 88 right now, and so I was like, dude, it'd be really cool to meet him in person, whatever, because he's also like a really talented voice actor and all that. So little did I know how popular this man is, because every day that we went to go and try and get an autograph session with him or get into the autograph session, they were always sold out because they handed out little tickets for all the autograph sessions. So yeah, and apparently we were listening to people talk about this, that there were people like in line at 5:30 in the morning for this thing, and it sold out by 7 a.m. and us being reasonable people only got to the convention center at like 9 a.m.
Yeah.
So maybe one day I'll get to see him.
Maybe one day. Yeah, Matthew Mercer occupies this like weird space where he's so many different kinds of famous that he has all of these like weird intersecting fan bases.
Yeah.
And as a result, it is impossible to meet him. I ever tell you that I met Matthew Mercer once?
Did you?
Yeah, briefly.
No.
So I went to TwitchCon in 2016.
Yeah, I was jealous of all the people that you met and took photos of with.
Yeah, it was neat. I got to hang out with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason that I got to meet Matt was because he was on a panel with my boy Adam.
Dope!
And he basically ran off of the Caltrain to get to the convention center and then ran in 10 minutes after the start of the panel and then ran out immediately afterwards to go do some more work. So, yeah, he's a very busy person.
I imagine as much.
Wants to meet him.
Yeah.
But I have his autograph, so...
Oh, did you get it signed, like, at the thing? Like, or did he have a separate thing?
No, I had a notebook, and, like, I just caught him, like, after the panel, and I was like, hey, I love your stuff. And he wrote a little, how do you want to do this? And I was like, oh, I love it.
That's so cool! Oh, that's cute!
He's nice. I have a picture with him, too.
Oh, Sue.
He's a very nice man.
He seems like a nice man.
He also voices the gay cowboy in Overwatch.
I know, and people love shouting that at him, and it seems like he's got like PTSD from it now.
I don't think he'll ever be able to escape the high noons.
No.
And I think the funniest thing is when it haunts him outside of his work and the sort of Overwatch fan base. I think once they almost got him to say it on Critical Role.
Yeah, I saw that. I passed one of those. I just watched one of those episodes recently, and he was just like, I'm not going to say it, but the sun is directly above your head.
I'm so sad that he didn't say it. I don't actually watch Critical Role.
Yeah?
Or I started watching it sort of casually, and I've seen maybe a couple episodes of the original campaign and the new one, but there's a lot of it, and I don't really have a lot of time to do the things I already want to do.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things on that long list of maybe one day I'll have 800 hours to invest in listening to my favorite people just talk and
like
play
me,
characters.
Just invest all the time. Well, for me, it's like I work, 8 hours-ish or more a day, and so it's really nice to just have in the background and listen and just binge it that way, because
it's nice that you have work that allows you to multitask like with the audio.
Yeah.
Let me introduce you to being a literature major, which means all of your work is either reading or writing, neither of which you can really do while listening to anything. No,
you cannot. At least nothing with like story and lyrics to it.
Right.
You can't
like if I wanted to listen to music, I could. and I would just tune it out. And at the end of the day, I'd be like, I have no idea what songs I listen to, but the music was playing, I guess.
Yeah.
But otherwise, nope, nothing, nada. It's like one of the great pitfalls of my field of study.
Yeah. I mean, you brought it on yourself, but also, you know, at least you know you're better trained to focus, right?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I'm better trained to learn how to focus. The trick is you cut yourself off from society for 6 hours at a time and just binge a book.
Yeah, for me, if I really have to hunker down, I legit like turn off the Wi-Fi on all my devices. Mainly my laptop, since that's what I'm usually working on.
See, what's great is because I have a desktop, I can just leave.
Yeah.
And it means that it doesn't follow me. I have my phone with me, but that's like way less of a temptation than my actual desktop. Because whenever I sit down at my desktop, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to get some work done. And then I'm just like, well, what if I checked Twitter?
Yeah, see, that's why I have to turn off the internet. Like, I have to basically, like, I pull up whatever references I need, right? Because I have to work off the computer for any digital art. And then I have to turn off the internet and then just work and then listen to music or whatever I have downloaded and not look at anything else.
Yeah, see, that's sort of the issue, because I go on those sort of, and I'm sure everyone's had this experience where they have this Wikipedia rabbit hole dive.
Oh, always.
Where they look up one thing and it leads to another, and suddenly what was originally like, what is wheat, turns into how to make cheese, turns into I don't know, how many soldiers are in a Roman legion.
It will always lead back to cats somehow, but
yeah, you'll always end up somewhere around cats. I tend to Wikipedia a lot of food.
Yeah.
I love food. But the problem is I'll do this outside of Wikipedia too. And so I'll check subreddits to check for news. But if something exciting is happening in, say, Overwatch or Grand Blue Fantasy, I'm just like, but what if I played Overwatch or Grand Blue Fantasy?
That's what I'm worried about too, in terms of like getting, like, coming across a mobile game that's a little too good, right?
Oh boy.
yeah, exactly. I'll burn all my time into it. Like, Fire Emblem Heroes is like just not engaging enough for me that I can just like put it away, and I get an orb and I put it away, basically. Or I do a Tempest trial battle, I put it away. And it was the same thing with Puzzle and Dragons, where I could like just log in, do a thing, close it. That's it.
See, that's the problem. Grand Blue Fantasy is less of a mobile game and more of an MMO.
Yeah.
And I just sink a lot of time into grinding for things because I like it so much. Like, there's something kind of comforting about the slow, gradual buildup of power that you get from, okay, I farmed knives for 8 years, and out of the other end of the knife mine, I've come out with a functioning character party that kills things reasonably okay. I still haven't gotten all the knives I need, though. Oh, well.
I'll be like talking to you like a year from now, and you're like, finally.
So that's optimistic. I'll just be like, Renu, these knives won't drop. They just won't. I've been trying for like 8 years. I've given up. I don't even play water anymore. I've moved on to other elements that treat me right, and the knives just still won't drop.
I'll have a knife update from you every 2 weeks for the next several years.
every 2 weeks, I'll be like, "Did you do your knives?" And I'm like, "No." See, do you want to know what the real problem is? After I get all the knives I need to upgrade all my knives so that my weapon grid functions, after I hit rank 101, I can upgrade the knives again. So there's like a second tier.
More knives?
I don't need more knives, technically.
Okay.
But it does sort of lead to this situation where there's a second tier of knife grinding. Because I don't need the knives to uncap the weapons directly. I need them to reduce them to get knife rocks, to use the knife rocks to upgrade them.
Mhm.
So in the end, I still need knives, but at that point, any knife will do.
Oh my god.
So, yeah.
What a mess.
It's worth it because right now, Granblue Fantasy has the Persona 5 collab going.
Yeah.
And
it's really tempting.
It's great. Now is an amazing time to start. And
Okay.
I know that if you do play, you won't spend any money. But there is a thing called the beginner draw ticket, which costs $26. Which, yeah, I know. That's a big price tag.
Yeah.
But your beginner draw ticket is dependent on when you start the game. And if you start the game during a limited draw session, like now, where there's a flash gala, which just means the rate for nice characters goes up.
Okay.
It means that you can essentially use this $26 ticket to buy one of the characters without having to roll for them. So you just pay $26 and you have the character, and you don't have to be subject to the absolute terrible whims of RNG batting you around like a ship in storm.
That's why we sign up for these experiences, right? Like, we sign up for them for the gambling element, where it's just like, there's a really good chance that I'll be screwed over. Actually, they tell you the exact percentage of the chance that I'll be screwed over, but that little bit of like 3% chance of me winning.
Listen, right now it's 6%. Right now it's 6%. Although, if you do a 10 draw, it will guarantee you at least one SR or SSR. So, Granblue, I think, is one of the fairer models for RNG. Maybe not for actual money efficiency, because they're quite expensive.
Yeah.
The actual 10 draws, they're like $26. But for the beginner draw ticket, you pay the price of what would normally be a 10 draw. And of course, you can just get crystals and use those instead.
Right.
If you just want to grind it out, which I do. If you get the beginner draw ticket set during a time like now, you can essentially just buy a character that will be really strong, and you don't have to let RNG dictate it. Because right now, the limited characters are... one of them is widely considered one of the most broken characters in the game.
Right.
And she's a dark type character, and so is Joker. So they would work very well in tandem.
Oh.
But that's just me. It's too late for me. I already have so much invested in my account that I can't start a new one.
Well, maybe I'll ask you how to do that hash thingy, and then you can get me started, and I can get my Persona babes and feel bad that I didn't get my Conan babes.
Yeah, it's sad that you missed Conan, but you can get
sad
Persona.
about that. Yeah.
It's the events themselves are really easy too, so it should not be very hard if you do start now.
Okay.
Which is like, it's such a beginner friendly event right now.
That's nice.
So if you do decide to go down the hell path of mobile game optimization that I have been living in since Puzzle and Dragon,
you go really hard into that. I lean into it in terms of like, oh, I found a thing online that shows how they rank. I like these characters. How do I use them optimally? Like that kind of thing. But I don't go like super deeper into it.
I usually will go for either a character I like or a character that will carry me easily as far as I can take it, which is why I, in Puzzle and Dragons, re-rolled until I got Red Sonia, which
I remember that
at the time just a hyper broken character.
Yeah.
And then she fell off, but man, she was very useful for a long time.
Yeah.
Well into endgame. I never got to endgame, mind you. But...
No, you yeah.
Well, there was a lot of content in that game too.
There was a lot.
Luckily, this is easier because I don't have to like use a puzzle to interface with the game. I can just use turn-based combat like a normal human being. Not that I hate the puzzle-based combat. I think it's charming in its own right. It's just not for me. I'm too dumb to do puzzles all the time.
I love puzzles and strategy and stuff like that, so that's why I liked stuff like that. Which Puzzle and Dragons is a really simple puzzle model, but it can get complex.
It's really complex, especially if you look at high-level people who run like Anubis, and they get like 100 times modifier by linking like 8 chains together, and they just cleared the entire board at once, and you're like, how did you even do that?
I know, that's insane. Like the high level people are like I feel like it's a really good model because it starts off like you can play really simply, right? But if you learn to get good at it, boy howdy.
Right, it's you are a lot stronger if you are good at the puzzle mechanic.
Yeah, I think it's as complex as you make it type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's fine. That's why I use dumb characters like Red Sonja that don't think about literally anything except for I do more damage when I hit with my orbs.
Yeah. And then she turns
I did have
into
a soft spot, I admit, for combo characters.
Yeah.
I just could never reach 10 combos or whatever consistently.
Yeah, same. It's hard for me to get like above like, I don't know, like 5. And I have to really think about it.
Yeah, that's like one of my favorite characters was Sakuya Kirin or whatever. I don't actually remember.
Yeah, I remember her.
But she was impossible to use because I was bad at the game.
Well, she turned everything into the 3 colors, right? She's the oh wait, no. Was she the blue one?
No. It's well, maybe she was. I'm getting the names mixed up. She was the white one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I did like the blue one too, just from an aesthetic standpoint.
Yeah.
But my Puzzle and Dragon days are behind me right now. Grand Blue Fantasy is my best friend. I'm gonna be honest. I totally slept through the last like week or so.
Yeah.
Legit. After I got off of school, I did nothing but sleep.
Yeah.
And I missed my chance to grind out a really strong weapon for a fire grid. And I'm really sad about it.
You'll get another chance though, right?
Yeah, I'll get another chance. It'll come back in like a couple months.
You'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
I'll be fine. Something else will come along. Something else will occupy my time. I don't have to build my fire grid all the way.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yet.
I mean, it is to your benefit to build as many elements as you can manage at once.
Yeah?
Yeah, because content tends to be... A lot of content that comes out sort of recently is element locked. Or not element locked, but it discourages you very heavily from using other elements, because it's like, if you don't use the right element, your damage will be reduced by like 80, and I'm like, that sounds bad.
Oh, that does sound bad.
It was serendipitous that what came around this time was Xeno Ifrit, which means my water-based grid was really effective.
Oh.
Of course, I couldn't grind out all the things I wanted, but that's mostly just because my body was failing me, and not really because like I lacked work ethic or whatever.
Oh my god!
Although, that's part of it too, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we should mention now, like 30 minutes into the episode, that this is a non-content episode. We're literally just talking about whatever.
I thought about it sometime during the Grand Blue talk. I was like, oh, we never actually said what we're talking about today, which is nothing.
We never explained that this is a nothing episode. That really this is just non-content.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone knows the meaning of ancillary, they might be able to glean that this bonus episode is a nothing episode.
Yeah, it's a bonus episode that exists to support the main episodes and the health and vitality of our podcasto.
It's meant to pad our podcasto.
Ancillary is one of my favorite words.
Yeah?
Yeah. It just sounds nice.
It does.
I like the spelling of it too.
Yeah.
Has all those good sounds in it. Listen, this is what I go to school for.
Yeah, man. I feel you.
I like word good.
Yeah. Ancillary, and I feel like something along the similar lines would be like ballista, maybe.
Ballista is also a really nice word. Although I have like terrible flashbacks of ballista because that thing is deadly in Fire Emblem.
You have
Legit,
like war flashbacks.
They don't have friendly ballista, so all ballista are neutral. So usually they'll have enemies posted in there, and you have to approach them. But the range of a ballista is like 800 squares, and so by like what you have to do is you just slowly creep an armored knight up and make the ballista waste all its ammo. But because you can't get there,
shield.
because you can't get there fast enough. The ballista doesn't have any ammo by the time you get there, and so it's useless to you, and it's just so annoying.
I have war flashbacks of ballista through Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah.
So they'll just like, whether or not a person is posted at them, they will just fire all sorts of arrows at you, and of course stagger you all the way back. Sometimes throw you off your feet all the way down a hill. And you have to like cut your way through like a whole formation of them, and it's horrible. But when you do break them, they break like paper, or like little cardboard
as
boxes.
is the grand tradition of Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah, man. Yeah. What else you been up to aside from Grand Blue and sleeping?
That's a good question. I had Father's Day yesterday. I cooked a wonderful dinner.
Mm-hmm.
I made a salmon lemon piccata with some pasta to go with that. I just soaked up the sauce from that because I'm lazy.
Mm-hmm.
I had some tomatoey bread. There's an actual word for this. It's like a Spanish dish. It's like an appetizer or like a tapas, but I don't know. It's literally just like tomatoes and bread in Spanish.
Okay, sure.
And I also made a wonderful salad, which was heart of romaine. Because my dad likes salad that he can cut himself.
Okay.
Which is he just likes it, so I made it for him. I made a dressing with let's see, what was in it? It was lemon juice and the zest, of course. That's where you get those nice lemony oils. It was olive oil. It was minced garlic, and then and some honey and some mustard. And the important thing here is I'm using a special sort of honey garlic.
Okay.
What you do is you get raw honey, which is not pasteurized, so it still has kind of all the like living microbes and stuff in it. And then you just crush some garlic. Like you don't like destroy it. You just peel it, and then you give it a little love tap, and then you just put it in the jar. Then you put a bunch of these in the jar, and then you cover it in the honey. And then what'll happen is it'll ferment.
Okay.
And become tasty.
Okay.
I used that, and I used the honey from that, and it was really good.
Nice.
Yeah, and then for myself, I made chicken nanban.
Yeah.
Which was really good. I was inspired, of course, by one of the seasonal anime that we're watching. Isekai Izakaya Nobu. Oh my god, that might be actually one of the tastiest things I've ever made in my life.
Oh really? How was it?
So basically, I just marinated some chicken thighs in soy sauce, sake, garlic, and rice vinegar. And I let that marinate for like a day. And then I coated it in. Well, my first batch was made in rice flour, and then my second was in regular flour. And they both work reasonably well. I think I prefer the flour, actually. I think it sticks and creates a better coating.
Yeah.
And then you put that in a sauce that is soy sauce, ginger, garlic, and sake, and also rice vinegar, maybe. I think I literally just used the marinade, basically.
Okay.
And then you fry it. You double fry it so it gets all super crispy and nice. And even when you soak it in the sauce and you cook it in there, it doesn't get all soggy immediately.
Good. That's what I don't like.
Yeah. And then you use the homemade tartar sauce that you've made, which, oh my god, that might be the best part. It was so good. It was mayonnaise, mustard, more mayonnaise than mustard, like a fourth of the mustard to mayonnaise ratio. And then, what else was in it? It was boiled eggs that were all like chopped up real fine, lemons, so lemon juice and lemon zest.
Yeah.
And cornichons, which, if you don't know, they're the little tiny pickles.
I did not know that.
That's what they're called, but they're the little tiny pickles. You just chop those up and you put them in there, and they have a nice crunchy, sour texture taste, and it's delicious. And then you make the chicken, you cook it in the oil, like you deep fry it, and you just like soak it in the sauce a little bit, and then you just put the tartar sauce on and you eat it, and it's probably one of the best things you've ever had in your life. I made some just now, I ate it just now, and I had an entire beer, and it was the happiest I've been in a long time.
You are the isekai izakaya.
Yeah, it's me. I am him.
I am him, he me.
He me. I'm my boy. I'm my boy Tomokazu Sugita.
Yes.
That's one of the funniest things about the Grand Blue Fantasy collab is that like half of the characters are already voicing characters in Grand Blue Fantasy. And mind you, these characters don't intersect, right? Like they're not talking to each other. But it would be so funny to have Tomokazu Sugita talk to himself. That's all.
That would be really good.
Also, Joker is voiced by Jun Fukuyama, who also voices at least one character in Grand Blue Fantasy.
He voices a lot of things.
Well, Grand Blue Fantasy has so many characters at this point that it's a surprise that they didn't already have Mamoru Miyano.
Oh, yeah, that is
who voices
surprising.
Ryuji.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's like deathly allergic to his voice.
Really?
She literally messaged me and was just like, I didn't realize that Ryuji was voiced by Mamoru. I'm dying.
Oh.
I'm having an allergic reaction to his voice.
Oh. Yeah, I know several people who are like that with certain voice actors. It just rubs them the wrong way, I guess.
If we're being fair, I actually really like Ryuji's English voice actor. I don't know who does it. I have to look it up.
I don't know either.
But whoever it is, they do a really good job.
I never heard the English dub, so I can't say.
It's Max Middleman. Middleman? Middleman. Who voices... he voices the English Saitama in One Punch Man.
I don't listen to English dubs.
I legit could not tell you anything because I also don't watch dubs.
Yeah.
Which is I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does a really good job actually.
That's dope.
And then of course, Yusuke Kitagawa, my absolute boy, my absolute unit. Kitagawa is voiced by my boy Tomokazu Sugita, and in English he's voiced by my other boy Matthew Mercer.
Oh my god! Good. We're gonna get all the boys into this podcast episode. This one right now.
Yeah, I think that the Western dubbing scene for Japanese media has learned that Matthew Mercer is like basically the English equivalent of Tomokazu Sugita.
Yeah.
So you can just sub their voices and it works.
I mean, he also did kanji for P4.
He did, but he wasn't the original voice actor for kanji.
No, Troy Baker was. But like I had no idea.
Troy Baker.
Like I mean, Troy Baker's voice is of course like really like you can it's very distinctive, right? But then when they switched over to Matt Mercer, right?
Oh, you literally cannot tell.
You cannot tell. It's so good. I was like, "Are you freaking kidding me?"
Yeah, it's like, wait, Matt?
I was just so stunned. I was like, "How skilled is this man?"
Matthew Mercer has the ability to be generic man voice.
For everything.
And honestly, I'm here for it.
I'm here for it.
There could be worse. Like
He does a lot of good voices.
Long over are the days of Troy Baker and Vic McNorman.
He was at a-kon too.
Yeah, but he sucks, so...
No!
Yeah, he's
Don't
terrible.
do that.
He's like a giant dickwad.
Really?
Yeah, I hear he's very unpleasant.
But you didn't meet him yet?
I've met people that have met him. He sounds
Oh.
very unpleasant.
Oh. Oh. I'll reserve judgment till I meet him, but, you know.
I hear he's creepy and kind of like the old man kind of creepy.
Oh. That's
Where
a
he's
shame.
just like, I love talking to little girls.
I'm not gonna gossip about that.
This is a noted phenomenon. Is that he's notably a little bit like too overly familiar.
Oh.
And also apparently smells like cheese.
Oh.
That's an anecdote from one of my friends.
Okay.
One of my confidants who will remain unnamed.
Well, I cannot verify or deny any of this, so I can't. I don't know.
Yeah, I hear he sucks. Which is why recently, instead of the dub, which I usually watch, I watched the subbed version of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Mm-hmm.
And Mamoru Miyano voices Ling Yao.
Oh, dope.
Which is why I was like, why does he sound so specifically like I know it's Mamoru Miyano, but like what character did he voice that I like listened to recently?
Mm-hmm.
And it was Ling Yao.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the English dub for Full Metal, though.
It does. It works. It works very well. I just hate the
Yeah.
fact that Vic Lasagna Man is not a good person.
You have a real grudge against him without having known him.
I do not have to have met him to like not want to support him.
Sure. I mean, I'm sure that the people who told you the things are people that you would believe, otherwise you wouldn't hold such strong feelings about it. So
It's true. It's true. Plus, I just like the sub too.
Sure.
The
I mean,
sub
there's
is
nothing
also
wrong with the
really
sub
good.
either. Like, I think I watched Brotherhood with the sub, and I watched the original with the dub. So I liked both.
I've watched both with both. Other than that, I haven't really been up to super much other than going out to eat, cooking food. I'm excited because I'm gonna start experimenting. I'm gonna see about making and this is gonna sound really funny. I'm gonna make an umami butter.
Umami butter.
Umami, the fifth flavor.
Tell me about it.
So here's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
So I have butter.
Okay.
That's the base. And last time I did this, I used Parmesan cheese and anchovies. And I think maybe some like garlic or onion powder, maybe. Or it might have just been Parmesan and anchovies. And that was really good.
Sure.
Maybe some basil too. I don't remember. There was something green in there that I can't quite recall.
Yeah. I mean, anchovies have a really good umami.
They do. They have much umami in them.
Yeah.
But this time, I'm going to do butter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to keep the anchovies.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to do Parmesan cheese, but we already have some cheese left over from the salad dinner.
Sure.
From dinner salad.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to try that, which is a softer cheese that has sort of Parmesan and Swiss notes. So it's kind of a little bit away from Parmesan, but still similar. It's cheese. It'll work.
You gotta be all culinary about it. Soup cheese has so many different things to it.
I know. But I'm sure it'll be fine. That's why I'm going to use it. Like, I wouldn't use like a Swiss cheese, but because this is a cheese that has kind of that nice, nutty kind of umami taste that Parmesan has, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, do it. Get that umami out of that cheese.
And then here's the big thing. Here's the thing that sparked this whole experiment.
Okay.
this time I'm gonna try using miso.
Ah.
So it's gonna be like a nice umami miso butter, and I'm gonna put that on like a steak. I bought some cheap steak.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna see if that's good or not.
Sure.
I'll let you know at some point.
Let me know.
Yeah. Once I do it, I'll let you know.
Yeah. And I'll fight the listeners who are all trying to move in next to you and get some of that umami.
I mean, I guess that's fair.
You're like, I'm just gonna keep cooking.
I just exude the umami.
Yeah, man.
The thing is, I've had such a good time since coming home. I cook like almost every day.
Mm-hmm.
I feel so good.
Oh, buddy.
It's been so long.
It's happy for you.
So long.
This is your creative outlet.
I love cooking food. It's one of the great pleasures in my life.
Yeah.
I have a little like notepad inside my phone.
Yeah.
Which sounds weird. It's a digital notepad, not like a physical one that I keep inside of my phone. That has all the kind of different flavors that I want to try.
Yeah.
So I have the miso butter. I made some amu rice. I have the chicken nanban. And then my next adventure after I experiment with this miso butter is I had an amazing fried chicken while I was in Seattle at a restaurant that serves ramen.
Oh, interesting.
So I think what it is I'm gonna essentially try to like track down and reverse engineer this.
Yeah.
I think the secrets to it are the like 7 spice, like the Japanese 7 spice.
Yes.
What is that called?
I don't know.
It is called shichimi. Yeah, the shichimi, which is shichimi togarashi, which is also referred to as nanaido togarashi or 7-color togarashi.
Nanaido.
It's a Japanese spice mixture.
Mm-hmm.
I have some shichimi. I'm gonna use it probably in the marinade and then probably also in the batter or like the flour.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna fry that up. The taste that really came through along with the chili spice was lime. So I'm also gonna do that.
Oh yes.
So yeah. That's what I'm gonna do.
That's dope, man. I like hearing about your cooking adventures. So
yeah, I take lots of pictures of the finished product. I don't take a lot of progress shots because I'm busy. I don't know, cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I usually post the finished product on Twitter.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
If you follow me there, you can usually see.
You can see the results of my exploits.
Oh, that also reminds me. Speaking of food, which I can talk about forever, actually.
Sure.
I have a nice pepper garlic salt from Seattle when I went to visit my friend there.
Oh.
It's very nice. It has a very clean
garlic
burn to it, and I'm really excited to see how it cooks.
Sure.
To see if it can. So I'm gonna cover the steak in it to see if I can get it to flavor the steak.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting experiment. It's very good. It's like sea salt, but it's like smoked with garlic and chili pepper.
Okay. I have a pretty clear not visual. I don't even know how you would describe that. I can imagine it pretty clearly.
Yeah. It is maybe one of the cleanest like spice burns I've ever had in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not overwhelming. It's very clean. It comes and then it passes, but it's very pleasant.
Okay, you should do that. You flavor your steak with that.
I will. It's gonna be an interesting experiment.
Yeah.
Have you been doing anything exciting food wise? Have you continued your cheesecake adventure, or are you just leaving it for now?
Let's see. I did make another cheesecake while my friends were here, because I told them about my struggle, and they were like, "We're gonna help you," and somehow the quality of this cake was not quite like the one before it.
Oh no. Oh dear.
It was a little lumpier and a little flatter.
Oh no.
And I cannot blame my friends for it because of course they were really awesome and they helped me like with the prep time and everything. Like it didn't take as much time, but maybe I don't know, it was different, honestly. So I gotta try again at another point in time when I'm not tired of cheesecake.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, I had a nice dinner tonight. I roasted some pork tenderloins and some basil and thyme. I didn't have rosemary, otherwise I would have thrown that a little bit of that in there too.
I
And
love
garlic and butter. And then for my sides, I had mashed potatoes that I just made real quick with some butter and parsley and garlic salt and a little bit of Parmesan. And then my other side was like some roasted carrots with honey and vinegar.
Tasty.
So yeah, it was tasty. Whenever I cook, I basically cook enough for the week.
So you're just gonna be eating that for the next like 4 days.
Exactly. I'll 3 to 4 days ish. Like, I don't like eating the same things from meal to meal, but if I have like 2 meals, like, you know, like something different for breakfast and something different for lunch, I can have the same thing for dinner, right?
Yeah,
I generally try to mix it up a lot more than that, but since I don't have that much time in the evenings, I'm just like, you know what, it's fine. If I make something good, like I put a lot of time and effort into making something good that'll last me a while, then I won't be as unhappy.
See, I vaguely have that unhappiness. I'm someone who gets very bored easily.
Yeah.
And yet, if I make a lot of food, I will just continue eating it until it's gone. It's the point at which my laziness outweighs my desire for new experience.
I know that feel.
Or new stimuli. Yeah, like I made enough omu rice to last like 4 meals. So all I did was I made all the rice and then I just reheated the rice and I would just make a new omelet.
That's exactly what I did like a couple of days ago. Like I made like a whole little Tupperware of rice, right, with the soy sauce, ketchup, whatever. And then I would make a new omelet each time because I would just have it for lunch, right? I want to cook something quick for lunch. So I would just make the new omelet and then fry the rice up a little bit again to fluff it up and make it, you know, good. Or I'd reheat it in the microwave if I was really short on time. And do it like that, man. Just covered in ketchup.
Maybe one day I'll make a real omu rice. The shape of mine was so lumpy and bad.
Mine isn't even omu rice. It's basically like a folded omelet with rice tucked in.
That's fair. I was trying to do the nice one when you like cut it open and it like oozes out.
I want that so badly, Soup.
So the problem that I'm running into is that I think what it is the angle of the pan may be too steep, and also it's not like a new nonstick pan. Yeah. And so it sticks a little bit. Okay. More than I would like.
So you can't like, you know, like shuffle the egg.
I can't like shuffle it as much as I want to.
Okay. I see.
And of course I'm still getting used to the heat. I'm still trying to figure out what a good heat is. Right. And what that means on an electric stove. Right. And I'm also still trying to make sure that I'm really like at this point, right, I can do basic things, but I'm also still trying to make sure that things don't go flying out of the pan.
No, I mean, I still have a lot of trouble flipping a large omelet without breaking it, so my mom does it like a freaking genius because she's done it all her dang life, but she will flip a legit 12-egg omelet and like nobody, just with a pair of chopsticks, easy peasies.
Wow. Wow.
I'm like, can you flip it in the air so I can like, you know, take some photos while you do it and then it lands in the pan? Like, can you be more amazing, I guess?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like even more godlike. I don't know, Mom.
there is certainly an amount of practice that goes into it
Yeah, I mean, I guess
that I simply just don't have.
let's give it another 4 decades and maybe we'll get there one day.
After 4 decades, I'm gonna be able to flip that fucking omelet.
You'll make that perfect omuraisu, and I'll
make the perfect.
I'll be there for
omurice.
it. The most perfect omurice I've ever seen was in an anime.
I'm gonna go to Japan. I'm gonna go to the famous omurice guy, and I'm gonna be like, I need you to take me in under your wing and teach me for the next 8 years.
Yes.
Teach me how to do an omurice.
Next door, I'll be learning the cheesecake ways for the next 8 years.
There is something kind of romantic about that, just running away to Japan and going to a little, like, tucked away corner of one of the lesser known wards of Tokyo and just eking out a meager existence as an omelet chef.
Yeah, like just like on a quest to make a good omelet that lives up to your standards. And,
some kind of wandering omelet warrior monk.
That's you.
Wandering the wastelands, trying to figure out the secret to the perfect omelet. The secret is a greased pan and lots of butter. And also an open flame, probably.
It might. You might have to get an open flame.
I'm determined to make it work. If I ever succeed at it, I will definitely send pictures. If I succeed, I will take a video of me opening that fucking egg.
Yes.
It's gonna like droop over the rice and be like, I've done it.
I've done it.
I've reached.
You just hear
egg.
like quiet weeping in the background of your video.
I did it. I did the egg. Yeah, totally.
Oh, soup.
Well, do you have any parting thoughts before we let this podcast go for 2 hours and it turns out I make more work for myself than I really thought I would be? I honestly thought we'd be talking for like 20-30 minutes, and then here we are like an hour later, just like, let's talk about omelets. Like, okay.
We just keep going on. I started my first D&D thing ever. It was my first time playing D&D. Think 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
Tell
fun.
me all about it. Tell me all about your D&D thing.
So I was basically the only one phoning in. So that was awkward because everyone else is like, it's like this group of I'm friends with like 2 of the people, right? They're in St. Louis, and so they had like their friend group over, and then they were like, oh, we're gonna start a new campaign, would you like to join? And I was just like, okay, cool. But at the time I joined, I didn't realize that I would be the only one that wasn't there, right? I thought it would be an online thing. But then, they were like, okay, well, we're going to get a table set up and everything, blah, blah, blah. We'll have, camera up so that we can, see you and you can see the table or whatever. And I was like, is it just me? Am I just the only face in the monitor?
Aww.
And, but they were so super welcoming and accommodating, and they were really nice. And, it was my first time playing. So, of course, they, were really patient in explaining the rules to me and what types of things I had to roll for, that kind of thing. So they were really sweet. So we're gonna have our second session on this Wednesday. So it'll be fun.
Oh, that's exciting. I love it.
Yeah.
What kind of character did you make?
I made a little half-wing rogue.
Aww.
Yeah. So he's already killed 3 people.
Yeah, that's... Welcome to Dungeons and Dragons. Rennie, you will quickly learn that as a Dungeons and Dragons player, you have really only a couple of options. You are a hobo and you murder for money.
I feel bad though, because when I was starting out, developing characters, Like I was thinking of different classes I wanted to play, right? I was like, okay, so I'll have this kind of character for this class and blah blah blah, right? But it just happened that my rogue was the first, I guess, character to really culminate, and I was like, okay, but then like as I was like learning more about D&D and the whole like thing about like murder hobos and stuff, I was like, oh no.
Oh no, what have I gotten myself into?
Yeah, what
it's
did
a murder
I make?
cult.
Because my other characters thankfully aren't like that, but it's just like, of course, the one that I start out with is the murder hobo. So
Right. See, I was lucky in that I started with the murder hobo.
yeah,
I was like, I am a wandering mercenary assassin.
mercenary assassin. Yeah,
I kill people for money.
yeah. I mean,
Which, as it turns out, is actually what everyone in D&D does.
yeah.
Some people are just more explicit about it.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's basically what my character does too. I mean, he's got like, of course, every character has their reasons for it, but yeah. The DM really liked my backstory, so that was really flattering. And
Nice.
I think he's excited to make character plots or whatever, with everyone's characters. So I'm looking forward to it.
I would also not super worry about being the only one being phoned in. I cannot tell you how many times we've had to phone at least one person in to our sessions when we do it,
Uh-huh.
like, at an actual table.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty awful because here's the big problem, especially with, and I don't know if this is the case for your group, but
Okay.
for my group is a lot of very loud people that like to talk over each other and interrupt each other.
Oh, okay.
And when all of that is going through one audio channel, it can get quite overwhelming for the person who is not at the table.
Sure.
And it can also be very hard for them to interject, considering that they are a face and a monitor and a speaker, and we are flesh and blood that can hit each other. We don't hit each other.
Right. Yeah, I struggled with that type of thing too, but thankfully, like, my group is like, they're pretty considerate of that, and so like after the session, like, we were talking about it, I was just like, yeah, I was worried, that you guys wouldn't be able to hear me while everyone was talking, and so I tended to be a little bit quieter and just let the group discussion happen, right? But then they were like, oh no, we were keeping an ear out just in case you said anything, and like, we were trying to be conscientious of that. So like, please feel free to interject. We will make sure that you are heard. And I was like, well, that's very nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, hopefully you'll get to a point where you and your group, and this is a point that hopefully everyone in a D&D or tabletop game group realizes, but the way to be a good player is both to be considerate of other players, but also to think about how you can essentially bounce off of each other, right?
Right.
It's knowing when you can take the spotlight and like dance, or if the spotlight is thrown to you, you can like roll with it. Yeah. But it's also throwing the spotlight to other people.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Which is something that even I struggle with as a player.
Sure.
I don't play a ton anymore. That might change.
Because you DM for everything.
Yeah, because I DM for everything. That's actually changing. I'm not DMing any games anymore.
Whoa! Anymore?
Yeah, because I just wrapped up my like 3-year campaign.
Dude, I thought, but you were the one who told me, oh, whenever I finish one, I just start a new one.
Well, so here's the thing. I'm in a great place right now where all of my games are run by people that aren't me. Okay. So I technically have some free time to myself that I don't have to spend thinking about the game.
Oh, nice. Buddy, nice. You have free time now.
I have free time now. Vaguely. It's really not as much as I would like. If I had any more, I would want to run something for y'all.
Don't worry about it.
One day soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice when you get to a point where players know how to throw the spotlight to each other.
I'm looking forward to at least being able to delve more into like the interpersonal dynamics between the characters, right? Because right now we're just getting introduced to each other kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, that's really exciting.
Mhm.
I love when people start playing Dungeons and Dragons
Yeah, he's
or
fun.
other
so
such
far.
tabletop games. Do you want to know what my problem is?
Mm.
My problem is as a player, I like playing characters that are sort of all across the spectrum of like, oh, this is a lawful good paladin, or I'm a chaotic evil shithead.
Uh-huh.
But all in all, I love characters that are just like really intense. Like
Sure.
here's what I mean. I love characters that do one thing so stupidly well and in such a stupidly flamboyant way.
Sure.
Like I made a rogue who is a hunter, but he only uses the net, which is a special weapon, and it's basically useless unless you like expend way too many class resources into making it useful, and even then it's not that useful. So I did that.
Okay.
It is a special weapon, and because of the properties of the weapon, it will restrain someone, which is a condition that means attacks against them have advantage. They can't move, etc., etc., etc.
Sure.
But the problem is to hit with the net, which is already kind of like a weak weapon. It only requires like a DC 12 to break.
Yeah.
So like your average goober could break it with his bare hands.
Yeah.
So here's the problem.
Okay.
Is you have to make a special attack with it. So you make an attack roll, right?
Okay.
But it is a ranged weapon, and the range of it is 515, which means that no matter what range you're throwing this weapon at, you have disadvantage on it. So you're just bad at it. Like it's really hard to hit people with nets unless you take a lot of really specific things to make it easier.
Okay.
And I did. And
so you took those things.
It was really funny.
Okay.
Surprisingly effective. It was surprisingly effective as long as we were fighting people, and then we started fighting like monsters, and
that's
was
what
way
I was
less
thinking.
effective.
I was like, I kind of doubt being able to see you with like a dragon-sized net.
Oh, there's a hard limit on the like net. It's like a like larger below. Which is like anything the size of a bear or smaller.
So what did you do when you had to fight these legendary creatures?
Oh, well, it was only one session that we had to play, but we did have to fight a Hydra. I just pulled out a crossbow and was like, I miss my net.
I pew pew.
I pew pew, but really I think about my net. Let me give you a little spoiler as to what I'm going to play in as for my next character.
Okay.
I'm going to play Scar from Fullmetal Alchemist.
Oh no.
It's like straight up.
Oh no.
I'm going to take levels in Monk and Cleric, and I'm only going to use the spell Inflict Wounds, which is a touch spell. You touch someone, it does damage to them.
It explodes them.
And then their face explode.
Yeah.
That's it. That's my character.
Are you gonna have white hair and be tan with the red eyes and have a really sad backstory?
I think I should probably lean a little farther away from that. My name is Scar. I have a big scar on my face. I have brown skin and white hair and red eyes, and I wear glasses and cool jackets. And also I want to kill every state alchemist. No. I don't think I'm gonna go that far. I'm gonna, of course, have my own vaguely written backstory where I'm.
But your mechanic will be along the lines of Scar.
But my mechanic will be explicitly your face explode, and I assure you, I will say it the first time I do it, and maybe every time after that. I can't wait. I pity the fool who is going to run the next game I'm in.
I pity them too. I pity your enemies. I pity your friends.
Listen, I don't know if this is better or worse than the character I played for a campaign who was just a hypersexual, pansexual, demon cohorting socialist tyrant.
That's a lot.
Basically, he took over a city,
okay,
and then he used his vast amount of murder gold to invest in infrastructure.
Okay.
Because I don't know why. I just felt like that was a fine thing to do.
And I'm guessing he
that's
had
it.
like a harem, right? Because he was hypersexual, whatever.
I don't think he had an explicit harem. He should. I should work on that. But he would try to sleep with anyone that came by, so...
Okay. I mean, that's really how he took over the city.
Yeah, and the icon I used was Niles from Fire Emblem Fates.
My god!
Because
Of
as far
course
as
it's freaking Niles!
as far as that goes, I couldn't think of anyone else who fit the bill so perfectly. My good husband.
Oh my
good
god.
man slut of a husband.
He's a boy. He's a man.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I said that we were wrapping up, and then we spent another 15 minutes talking about Dungeons and Dragons.
We had to get there at some point. We talk about all manner
did.
of culture.
Yeah, if at some point in the future you finish up Critical Role, we should do an episode about D&D shows.
Yeah,
or
dude.
Tabletop shows, because this is an area that I am uniquely expertised in.
Okay.
If you need something to listen to at some point that's not Critical Role, I heartily recommend that you listen to The Adventure Zone by the McElroys.
The Adventure Zone by the
The Adventure Zone.
Okay.
It's done by 3 brothers and their dad,
Oh.
and I'm not gonna lie, it made me cry multiple times.
Oh.
Like, a couple of those episodes legit made me cry.
That's cute.
But the problem is, it was last summer, and I was
Uh-huh.
listening to it on my way to work,
Uh-huh.
and so I would just, like, park, like, near work, and then I would just be like,
Oh no.
yeah. It's something that I aspire to, the Adventure Zone.
That's awesome.
Although I recognize that the format of it is an unrealistic expectation, because it's like an hour at a time, and it's heavily edited, and it's basically like a radio show more so than an actual play podcast.
Okay, so they basically like highly refine it into like a show rather than
Right, like they
a
remove
canon.
all the like 5-minute breaks for like, what are the rules? Because
Right.
my god, that is Dungeons and Dragons right there. It's
Yeah.
what is the rule for that again?
Right.
I think that's probably it. That's all I got.
That's all I got, man. That's
That's all I got. Where can we find you on the internet? On those interwebos.
Interwebos. I am on Twitter and on Tumblr and on, I don't know. I guess I post things on Pinterest sometimes.
What?
And I'm on Twitch
What?
at SwanDrawn. I don't know, like freaking there are artists out there who just share things via Pinterest. So
That doesn't make any sense.
I was told to get one, and I was like, okay. And so I did, and now I occasionally will post a thing on there, and there are people who follow me on there. So I'm like, okay, Pinterest community.
Pinterest is like a haven for art theft. Like, I've never seen a site so readily usable for art theft.
Oh,
I
yeah,
can't believe
yeah.
people use this site.
People repost it like nuts, which is why like I will like, watermark it like crazy, whatever I post on there. But yeah, people use it to do things, so
Those
I don't
Pinterest
know.
scavengers will find it anyway.
They'll find a way to repost it anyway without the watermark, and I'm like, whatever, I don't care. Like, I mean, I do care a little bit, but like the images I post on there are so low res, it's like there's just no point.
That's fair. Yeah, I find that probably the only real website that's like usable is Pixiv. Like, I understand why people use that website.
Yeah, Pixiv actually has professional, illustrators on there, and most of them are from Japan.
I love it.
I don't use Pixiv personally because I am not the Japanese reading type, I don't.
I also don't use it.
Yeah. But I love looking at the stuff on there, and I'm like, man, I wish I could read what this description says.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I just need you to translate everything for me.
I'm really not that good.
I think you're better than I am.
Maybe. Maybe.
All right. I think that's it for me. Where can we find you, bud?
You can find me on all the places at Literal Soup. If I'm there, it's there. I am really sort of not doing a whole lot anyway. Like, I say I'm not much of a person during school or finals, but really I'm not much of a person all the time. Right? Like, I don't really... Listen, I have been tweeting about, I'm sure, some inane topic. I post pictures of food on Twitter. Sometimes I will go on, like, rants about media or representation or other such topics.
You do, and it's quite entertaining to read.
Other times it's just shit posts.
Those are also entertaining to read.
Yeah. I have recently been binging Anthony Bourdain's Parts Unknown because I loved Anthony Bourdain. Anthony Bourdain was actually legitimately like a mentor to me because he inspired my love of food and of memoir. And, like, you know, at the end of the day, his whole message was of, like, this reformed cynic trying to find hope in the world through the connection of people through food. And really, I think that's pretty great. I'm really sad that he's gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're struggling, you know, don't be afraid to reach out. There's a lot of resources out there, and I'm sure that someone is willing to listen.
Yeah. I'll listen to you, buddy.
I'll listen to you, probably. I don't promise anything because I don't talk. Like, the problem is, I know I went and said that, and it was, like, nice and emotional, but, like, to be real for a second, I can't even maintain regular contact with all the friends that I want to maintain regular contact with. But if you message me, I will probably respond. Maybe.
You generally don't leave me hanging, so I appreciate that.
I try not to leave people hanging because I'm really bad about reaching out to people.
Yeah, I'm really bad about, like, just being like, hey, I need to catch up with you about life. Like, I'll think about it and be like, man, I haven't talked to this person in a while. But then, like, the actual talking part, I sometimes don't do.
Yeah, at the end of the day, life is stressful. Use your Netflix account liberally.
Oh my god. Socialize with people sometimes. It's okay.
Socialize with people, you know, as much as you need or want to.
As much as you feel comfortable with.
As much as you feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are we giving PSAs? We're in no condition to do so.
I don't know because it's
Oh.
Yeah, I know. Really, like, I'm a mess. How could I possibly be lecturing other people? Well,
no.
life is terrible.
No.
But anime is good sometimes. But only sometimes.
Oh my god.
Akechiguro, eat your fucking heart out. You know, I would love to watch a Gintama dub with Matthew Mercer as Gintoki.
Oh my god, that'd be so good.
Fly me to the